So today is the 11th of November, Black Friday. The day you can go and make some deal in internet. I guess today we're going to talk about supplier management strategies. So some management. So we abandon the mathematical concepts for now, and we go and are going to look at some concepts that are maybe known, maybe not, but I think they are important in a supplier management lecture. Okay, so the first is supplier selection. I'm going to look at 5 concepts today: supplier selection and evaluation, our friend from Hungary has her watch 5 minutes later. Hello. We go and look at defining selection criteria, okay, so the first step in supplier management, SM, okay, is selecting the right suppliers. So we need, for this, we need the right criteria. Like, I mean, this is an open list. Quality. So the quality standards should be met, especially in critical industries like healthcare, automobile, and so on. We are talking about a maximum of 300 ppm here. In general, so cost, price is of course major consideration. Here you should pay attention to consider the total cost of supply. This is an important concept, TCS, okay, which not only considers the cost of production but also the whole supply chain cost. Remember, this is an error that many companies made in the 90s, beginning of the 2000s. They went to China because the cost per unit was lower than in Germany or in Europe. But they didn't take into consideration that going to China means a long lead time. And if any quality issue happens, then you're fighting against space, okay? Not only time, space. And the concept of demand variability and bullwhip hits you in the face, okay? So I remember when I was leading a production facility in Japan, we were having our products from Germany, but these products were coming from the US, and the US was getting their products from Brazil, and Brazil was getting their products from South Africa. So if in Japan we had a quality issue of a product coming from South Africa, the whole supply chain was like 13 to 14 weeks of inventory that was infected, okay? So millions of cost. Basically, we were handling every day one suitcase full with $1 million to our customers because of ownership costs, because we were not able to deliver. Okay, so be careful with the TCS concept. Reliability. Okay, so reliable suppliers deliver just in time, just in sequence. Okay. Here, for quality, we measure with ppm. Cost, we measure in euro, some currency. Reliability, we measure in the standard deviation of demand or supply. Okay, how reliable they are. Then flexibility. So suppliers should have the capacity to adjust order quantities okay, lead times or product specifications. Here, whenever I do some supplier audit, I go and look at the changeover times. At supplier facility. Okay, so the time it takes to change from product 1 to product B is very important. And then the geographic location. So why are German car companies shifting from China to Hungary? Because you can reach Hungary within hours, and China you need to be days on the road if you want to, or on the ship. Okay, so proximity to suppliers is relevant to cut lead time, increase quality, and why do we increase quality if the supplier is closer? Can somebody tell me? Transportation cost reduction and so on. Can somebody tell me why do we increase quality if supplier is closer? Hello? You can't? Well, you should, because we have seen this before in our lectures in the first semester. Okay? So imagine we have a supplier and we have a customer, and the supplier produces and delivers the product, and then there's something happens in the way, some quality issue, and we discover this quality issue and give the guy feedback. You have a quality issue, please correct it and send me new products, okay? If it takes, let's say, some lead time to get from supplier to customer, if it takes, say, 1 day, then we have 1 day of inventory in between the supplier and the customer. So whatever, it takes 1 day to give feedback, because it takes 1 day for the mistake to get to my facility. So we have 1 day of inventory that is infected, let's say. But if we have 10 days, we have 10 days of infected inventory before we can know that we have a problem in the inventory. So we have 10 days of inventory there, and so on and so forth. Okay. The closer the supplier, the better the quality, because lead time is going to be better. This is put together with one very important law of process management called Little's Law. Okay? Lead time equals the work in progress, the inventory, divided by the output of the process. Okay, this is very, very important. Please Google Little Law and look at the consequences and search a little bit on this, okay? Little's Law is very important. Good. So, once we have clarified these criteria, an organization can create a supplier scoring system. Okay? So we can create, with this criteria, we can create a supplier scoring system that quantitatively rates potential suppliers. Okay, based on their ability to meet the needs that we set up in quality, cost, reliability, flexibility, and so on. So, any questions on this? No. The rest, Kaya says go. The rest, Leonie, Lena, Margarita. Okay. So once we have done this, we can conduct supplier assessments. Common methods. For assessment, include request for proposal, so or RFP. RFPs allow companies to gather detailed information about potential suppliers' capabilities, pricing, and terms. Be aware I am using the Oxford comma. Okay, this means that this list is not empty. It's not a closed list. If I wouldn't use a comma, then the list would be closed. Okay. This is important if you are assessing contracts. This is an opportunity to evaluate suppliers on more than just cost. Okay, and gauge alignment in organizational values. For instance, if they are interested in, let's say, sustainability or green or something like that. Okay, so then you can go have site visits and audits. Okay, we will look into that later in the lectures. Visiting the supplier. Or suppliers' facilities. Allows the company to observe manufacturing processes, quality control practices, and workforce conditions. If you are Apple and you are going to work together with one supplier in China, you want to visit them, because if they produce your fancy MacBooks with child labor, you will be hit by public opinion. Okay, so references and reputation. Are also an issue, so talking to other clients of this supplier. Can provide insights into reliability. All right, so any questions on this 2 points? Supplier selection and evaluation, defining selection criteria and conducting supplier assessment. So I can go in the exam and say, hey, talk about supplier selection and evaluation. So you need to drop me this point 1112, okay? Pretty straightforward, I guess. I'm trying to put it as structured as possible so that you can handle it correctly. So second point we tackled today is supplier relationship management. SRM. Okay. So there are different types of supplier relationships. Okay. For effective supplier management, it's important to segment suppliers based on the role they play in the supply chain. It is important to segment suppliers by importance in the supply chain. So we have strategic suppliers. Okay, these are critical suppliers who provide key components or materials with high strategic value or a high impact on business operations. Okay. We want to have long-term relationships with these suppliers, okay? We don't want to be changing strategic suppliers every other week. So then we have preferred suppliers. These suppliers are reliable. And meet most of the requirements. But they may not hold a strategic value because of their product portfolio or something like that, okay? And then we have transactional suppliers. They provide, these suppliers provide low value items that are easily substitutable. These relationships tend to be more price driven, okay? And then once we have a segmentation in place, what we want is to build collaborative supply relationships. So for our critical or strategic suppliers, building collaborative relationships let's say based on trust, can yield benefits. Think about the relationship that Bosch has with BMW, with Mercedes, okay? These include cost cutting, innovation, and share risk. Again, I use the comma, Oxford comma. This is important in case you review contracts, because if you use that, the list is not closed. So this may involve supplier relationships may involve following: joint planning, okay, so we have some collaborative planning of schedules, product development, demand forecasting. Basically, you include them as your partners in law, and you make relevant plans with them about almost everything related to value creation. Okay. You share information. Sharing market insights. Forecasts. And production data. Fosters transparency and alignment. As I said, this is all based on trust. Remember the first class we saw in this lecture, everything is based basically on trust. Without trust, nothing can be fruitful. And the third thing is you can integrate. So you have your supplier integration program. This is what Toyota does with their strategic suppliers. This includes linking IT systems. So two suppliers work together with SAP to allow real-time visibility, of inventory, or of inventory management, or working together on product development. So, but it requires trust. So if you break that trust, then you are on the wrong. Okay. So this is the part of point number 2, supplier relationship management. Of course, we could write a book about this. This huge thing. Any questions on this? Questions? Okay, let's continue then with point number 3, risk management. In supplier relationships. Okay. So the first point is 3.1 is identifying supplier risk. Okay. So these are inevitable. They include supply disruptions, natural disasters, geopolitical events, labor strikes, and so on. Okay. Many things that can happen in the supply chain. So then you have financial stability or financial instability, I guess. Okay, so suppliers with weak financial positions, struggle with investment investments or workforce, potentially affecting their reliability, or quality issues, suppliers may face quality issues, quality problems due to resource limitation, breakdown of equipment, or lapses in quality control. Okay. So once you have identified these risks, you may go and you want to affect them, okay, mitigate them. Supply risk. So what can you do? You can diversify suppliers. Okay. Relying on a single supplier for critical components is risky, so diversify. You don't depend on one, or you want to do some contingency planning. So you want to have backup suppliers to maintain operations when your main supplier goes down, okay? Or you want to have regular audits and checks with your supplier to ensure that suppliers adhere to quality standards and regulatory requirements or their contractual obligations. And you want to have for sure financial health monitoring for your suppliers. So you want to regularly review your supplier's financial health because of the things that we mentioned above. Okay? So you want to review their financial statements or tracking credit ratings or whatever suits best. Okay? Any questions so far? No questions? Okay. Not only what I write, but also what I'm saying is important. So make sure you take notes or you are listening carefully because, for instance, now I didn't write everything that I said. The fourth point would be the performance monitoring and improvement. Okay, so here we set, first thing we do is we set a key performance indicator. KPI system. Okay. The list of the key performance indicator is humongous. It can be, but the most relevant KPIs for supplier management are, sorry about that. On-time delivery rate, okay, so measures the supplier's ability to deliver orders by the agreed upon date. A high on-time delivery rate indicates reliability of the supplier, see above, okay? So the second one is the defect rate. This is just the ppms, okay? Measures the parts per million that fail to meet the quality standards. Okay, so low defect rate, so low ppm rate indicates strong quality. Okay, so the next one would be the order fill rate. Reflects the proportion of ordered items that were filled in full This is critical to meet or for meeting better English production schedules. Another one would be lead time. For me, lead time is the most important KPI at all in process management. Measures the time from when an order is placed to when it is received. Okay. Shorter lead times support faster response times and improve flexibility and quality. Lead to or supports better, don't want to repeat lead. Supports faster response and better quality. Think about Little's Law. Not only think about it, think very much about it, okay? And of course, cost efficiency. Cost performance relative to agreed upon prices. And total cost reduction over time. Okay. So those are the KPIs we want to be tracking. And once we have this in place, such as supplier management KPI system, we want to go and have some development program. So supplier development program. Okay. Basically, this is based on continuous improvement. I am not going to get into this detail now. You can go onto my website and look for the CPDNA cycle, okay, or Kaizen. I have several articles describing this in very much detail. I will not go into this right now. Okay, so you take these KPIs and you improve them continuously by following certain set of rules. So see www.profh4.com research papers about this. Okay, so questions, please. Questions? Okay. The last point today is strategic sourcing. And collaboration. So this is a long-term holistic approach to supplier management that focuses on sourcing goods and services in a way that aligns with the organization's goals. So strategic sourcing involves certain things. For instance, the total cost. Total cost of ownership, or TCO, which evaluates not only the purchase price but also factors such as logistics, holding cost, warranty cost, disposal cost, bunch of costs that we have seen in the models before. Okay, so this is basically what I was talking about before. The second strategic sourcing and collaboration strategy could be value-based sourcing. So this strategy prioritizes value over cost. Okay, by considering factors such as quality, logistics, or quality, service level, innovation, sustainability, and so on. So basically you want to align your values, your company values, to whatever your suppliers are doing. And then the last point for today is the last strategy is the supplier portfolio management. Okay, so here building a balanced supplier portfolio that includes strategic partners, for critical components, and cost-effective options. For less critical items. Okay. So today, so any questions on this point 5? Yeah, you create a portfolio management based on all the concepts we've seen before. And you make a list and you say, okay, these guys, these guys I'm going to be managing by cost. These guys I'm going to be managing by value. These guys I'm going to be giving importance on their reliability, or because they have the one product that I need for being successful, and so on. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to have your portfolio based on your KPIs, based on your analysis and your financial information you have from your suppliers, and then you decide who you manage with. It's like, imagine you have many boyfriends, okay? And you cannot be the same person with all of them. With one, you need to be more aggressive. With the other one, you need to be more soft, and so on and so forth. So you cannot be the same person with all the people, okay? Or you have many children. Imagine you have 3 children. If you treat them all the same way, you will fail, okay? Because they are different people. This is the same, okay? Kaya, made sense? Yeah. So cool. So next couple weeks we will look into examples, and we will delve into some parts of this lecture today. Make sure you understand this lecture very well, okay? So I did not write on the PDF everything that I said, so you want to go back to the video and write down your own notes, okay? Because this is definitely very important for the rest of the supplier management lecture, and of course for the exam, okay?